Welcome to the Life's Best Medicine podcast, where we are finding hope and healing one episode at a time. No appointment needed, no rubber gloves, and no copay. Just a healthy dose of life lessons to help equip you for this wild journey we call life. Hey everyone, this is a friendly reminder that we are here for entertainment purposes only. We may not even be that entertaining at times, but this is not medical advice. Talk to your doctor, check with your healthcare professionals before making any lifestyle changes or medicine changes. What we're talking about is our clinical experience and what we've seen. And so if you really want our advice, you can consult us. You can actually consult me as a doctor, or you can consult my guest and get all your questions answered. But we can't give free medical advice because we can't pay our bills with that, but we can help to educate you a bit and allow you to think a little bit. And always reach out to your medical professional before making any lifestyle changes. Thank you.
Discover a new path to wellness at Arizona Metabolic Health. Dr. Brian Lenzkes offers advanced medicine and personalized care, treating the root causes of your health concerns, not just the symptoms. Whether you're seeking direct primary care, effective diabetes management, or medical weight loss, with a holistic approach, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. Visit ArizonaMetabolicHealth.com today to learn more about our innovative health solutions.
Happy April, everyone. I want to thank my sponsor, Health Code, for making this podcast happen. They've been so great. They've been so supportive of everything we're doing here, and they even let me speak off the cuff and do my own thing. So I just want to thank them for all they're doing. I'm using their products with a lot of my seniors. I'm in Prescott, Arizona a lot now, and I'm seeing a lot of seniors with dementia and Parkinson's and neurodegenerative conditions. And it's so great to have a product that I can share with them that they like. One of the tragedy is a lot of the adult drinks that they give people are loaded with just garbage stuff like hydrogenated seed oils and fructose and just terrible stuff you want to give to your worst enemy. So Health Code came along and they have great product. It tastes great with chocolate and vanilla, chocolate macadamia, and so people love it. And so seniors are not sacrificing. They want to have protein shakes and things that they enjoy, and they can make bars out of it. There's so much you can do on their website. It's outstanding. So go to gethealth.com, GETHLTH.com. Check out their recipes, different protein puddings that you can make, things like that for your seniors and for the rest of us too, who are trying to get good nutrition. So thank you, Health Code, for sponsoring this episode, and happy April to everyone. Hello and welcome back to the Life's Best Medicine podcast. Today we're talking, I met a special person in a networking group here in Arizona and Prescott. And, we just started talking and kind of figuring out one of the big things anyone who listens to the podcast knows, a lot of what we're treating medically is stress, depression, anxiety, PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, if you don't know that term. Cheryl Erpelding. Welcome. You're from Bethany's Gait. And so tell people about Bethany's Gait and about you. How did you get involved with them, first of all?
So I got involved with Bethany's Gait because we recently got to move to beautiful Arizona. We bought land in 2021 and came every month, and our house was completed in 2023. And while I was in San Diego, I found a organization called Saddles and Service, which helps veterans and first responders heal through horses. And when I came over here, they had a similar program, Bethany's Gait, that Christy Silverberg Rose started back in Orange County. And when she brought it to Arizona in 2013, that made a big impact here. So I knew that it was a great program, started volunteering, and actually got hired as a Horsemanship Director and a Development Director. So I volunteer and work there both, in working with horses and helping veterans, first responders, and their families heal through horses is powerful work. And I think God sent me this way. So here I am.
Yeah, it's amazing the work in. It's something I never really realized. I know animals are helpful for anxiety and depression. We have service animals, and in hospice they'll bring in animals, but horses seems like such an overwhelming animal to people. But it's amazing how they bring so much peace to people.
Yeah, the horses really mirror our emotions, so they have a real powerful effect on humans. So in the Equine Veterinary Journal, they shared how it really helped people dealing with PTSD. There's numerous studies how horses, they can feel our emotions, and that often reflect it. And that being with a horse for these guys that are and gals that are having a tough time, anybody's been in trauma, it will really calm them down, helps them be in the present and take them off that, fight and flight, mode that, PTSD people are commonly dealing with. So it really kind of grounds them, helps them get in the present. And they just, either brushing a horse or learning how to walk, trot, and lope is, super powerful and, inspiring, and helps bring back confidence to them. It's amazing. In San Diego and now also here in Arizona, I know of several of our people have come through the program, have turned their, almost on their verge of suicide, and getting involved with horses really gave them back their life and helped them with their sense of purpose. John, who just went down with a group of our veterans, and after they learn how to ride here in Chino Valley at Bethany's Gate, they get to go on a trip to the Bumblebee Ranch and ride horses with cows for a couple of days. And it's very bonding. They're riding with other veterans because a lot of times when they get out of the Army or Navy or whatever, they're oftentimes, feeling a little isolated if they have PTSD and they're not adapting to civilian life. And then rebonding with these guys was super powerful. And now he has coping skills that he didn't have before. And one of the things he said is, I meet regularly with my new friends since completing the program, and I'm now armed with coping skills I did not previously have. From the horses, I've learned that we project an energy in ways we don't even realize. They certainly do, and it was remarkable seeing these animals stare straight into me. I am now cognizant of the energy I put out, and I'm trying daily to be more positive and genuine. Horses are remarkable animals, each with their own personality, strengths, weaknesses, just like people. I learned so very much appreciation for these animals and life overall via this program, and forever grateful. And there's story after story, having been helping people in this space since 2020, both in California and now here in Arizona. It's super rewarding to see these guys connect with a horse and let go of some of the pain in their lives.
Yeah, that's amazing. It is amazing how just and connecting with other guys with PTSD or soldiers and first responders, just having building that community where they have something in common. So when you bring them in, do you bring them in individually, or do you have a group that comes in at one time and they kind of learn
Yeah, so
together? How does that work?
they have a couple of different programs, and it's kind of evolving with William Gilliam is one of the chief or he's the operating officer, and he is a former Marine that had trouble with alcohol, and he got his life all together, and now he's really involved with this and helping others in sharing his experiences. And horses have been super helpful for him. He rides the beautiful Tanya, a beautiful fjord, big old stout girl that carries his 6'4" frame, and she's in the picture of the golf tournament flyer that I drag everywhere I go. And so these horses are pretty cool. We have the U.S. vets come out twice a month, and then we're William's working on getting a veterans group to come every Tuesday. We have and we also offer to the families, because not only when someone has PTSD, the family also is hurting as well, because it's a tough thing for everybody involved. So the families, like we have a Mustang to Wranglers program where Thursday, Friday, and Saturday the kids will come and they get to play with the horses, learn how to clean, how to brush, how to pick their feet, just like the veterans and first responders do, and they get to ride. And it's a win-win for having everyone involved. So it's a cool program, and it's free to these guys, and a lot of the parents will come and volunteer and help make sure the chores are done, and all the donations cover the costs of them coming and all the good stuff. So it's an amazing program. And then the Unleashed Resilience Unleashed program that William puts together, he does that 3 or 4 times a year, where I'll get a group of veterans. We just had some go to Bumblebee Ranch, and they came and rode at Bethany's Gate, learned how to have all the parts of the saddle, and learned how to interact with horses and spent time with the horses, and got to ride them for for a while, and then they would travel down to Bumblebee Ranch where they spent the weekend, and they got to ride the dude horses that are down there that have that regular job of taking people out and about and riding around with the cattle. So they all had a great time, and build community, and it's pretty powerful. So, and lots of good stuff. He's trying to expand things so we can get a couple more veterans in the program, and but we love having people out.
It's amazing, and especially having the family support because so many of these guys come back, and it's I have friends who are veterans. I know what they went through, and it's like you get back to reality, and you know having to work and being in this sympathetic overdrive, like you're talking
Yeah,
about
exactly.
this stress of just whenever you hear loud noise, everything startles you, and your immune system can be affected. Everything is affected. All of our
Exactly.
these life processes that we look at, hypertension and diabetes and insomnia and all these things that are wrapped into PTSD.
Yeah.
And just seeing how the horses can help them.
Yeah. One of the guys that came out when I was in San Diego, he was, yeah, an hour with Dylan was worth 6 months of traditional therapy. So horses, it can really impact humans in such a powerful way, being a prey animal, and us being predators, and learning that dynamic and communicating with the horse's body language is really helps settle these guys and gals, and helps them appreciate all the good things in life, and kind of brings them back, and takes them out of that on edge, waiting for the next bomb to go.
Yeah, and the horses like dogs, and some people, once they get attacked by a dog once, then all the other dogs attack them because they're afraid. I mean, are horses like that too? Where if someone comes in and they're really anxious about being around a horse, do the horse sense that?
They can tell, they can feel your they can feel your heartbeat from yards away, and so they definitely can feel what's going on with you. But it's what's cool about the horses is they can tell if you're having that, and some horses will be a little more reactive to it, but others are kind of compassionate about it, and they help level that human down. It's kind of like God's secret weapon for helping us heal. It's pretty amazing, but they definitely have it's lots of studies on it. And, you can, if you do Google how horses heal humans, it's amazing. I mean, kids with autism just really connect with horses.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing because you think that's it's such an intimidating animal, but once you get to know them and you're around them more,
Yeah.
you realize how amazing they are. They're such amazing creatures.
Yeah, and then when they learn how to push a horse around in a round pen, or how to get on and how to sit a trot, or when I first teach these guys how to do the 3 beat gait, the loping, the faster speed, the smiles on their faces, it's just so empowering for them when they know that they can trust this animal, and have a powerful feeling of riding with the wind in their hair.
Yeah, and that the horse does what the commands that they give them, and that they're
Yeah.
controlling this big, huge creature, and it's incredible.
Yeah, it's a really cool way to get better.
So, what are cool things you've seen in some of the people that you've worked with over this last
Yeah,
year or two?
well, Danny is one of our guys that comes from U.S. Vets, and that guy, he's been coming since I started a year ago, November, and he is really, I mean, he's lost like 100 pounds, and he's got a job now. He was at the VA, and he's been coming through with the U.S. Vets. He's fit, and he loves Tanya, the one fjord that William rides the most, and he loves that horse, and he's very engaged, and it's really helped level him out. Just there's been numerous guys that have gotten involved with the horses, and then they go to find horse type related jobs like road cowboy work, and it's pretty cool to see
Yeah,
him.
and being outside in the sun and exercising and moving
Yeah,
around, and
and
being in
then
nature, that's
yeah, and then
huge.
one of the guys out in San Diego, he's a retired policeman, and he was bonded with a couple of these horses, and he's just total into riding every day, and he has gotten a really great trail horse, and he's very focused, and just living the whole cowboy lifestyle, and riding a lot, and appreciative of going and pushing cattle around and all that. It's just amazing. That really gives them something better to do, because a lot of the PTSD, they're first, a lot of the times they're like they find their find their fix with drugs and alcohol, and the horses, when you switch to horses, it's such a healthier fix.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, and that's one of the things. And these are things we look at, even PTSD and growing up in a abusive family or alcohol, or one of your parents is incarcerated. The impact of that, that's short. If you have, they call it adverse childhood events, and ACE score. If it's over 7 or 8, like your life expectancy is 20 years shorter, right? If we
Wow.
don't deal with those things. And with
Yeah.
PTSD is a huge death rate just because of suicide and drugs and alcohol and all these things trying to calm that nervous system down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, the gal that started the one out in San Diego, her husband, a retired captain, and he was really affected, and they found horses were the way, and that's why he started her program out there, and really, helped turn their whole family around. Really solve that, dynamic.
Yeah, and when you look at that, when you look at the treatments for PTSD, one of the big ones that comes up is equine therapy, being around
Yeah,
horses. Like it's not something you would typically think about.
yeah. You non-horse people wouldn't think. Us horse people, we know.
Yeah, horse people know. See, like the rest of us
The
have to
secret's
figure it
getting
out.
out.
Maybe we'll calm our nerves and get out. But anyone who goes horseback riding, you're out there in nature and it's beautiful, and
Yep.
it's just so calming to the nervous system to be bonded with an
Yeah.
animal like that.
Yeah, so just being around them, and having them, share your space with them, and it's a connection that's really cool. I mean, having cool dogs are fun to have and stuff, but the relationship between a human and a horse is a pretty special one.
What are some things about horses that us non-horse people like? What are things you would teach us about them that is low-hanging fruit that would surprise us?
Yeah, well, I mean, just being around a horse for, especially, if you have kids that want to get hooked on a good, sport. Horses, teach you have to be responsible. You just can't stick your horse in the garage and, get it out and throw gas in it and run it around. You have to, teach you to care, and you have to be responsible. You have to multitask. You have to plan. You just can't just, be self-focused. It kind of, it's great for especially all the parents dealing with kids with stupid phones. Having a horse makes them be in the present. They have to, deal with problem solving, because horses are big chickens. Like if a bat goes blowing across their yard or pen, that might spook them and scare them. So learning how to deal with horses and their emotions, and the horses teaches humans to be good leaders. So if you're not a good leader, the horse will take over. So when you learn how to be a good leader for the horse, they really like that. That's what they prefer. It makes them feel better.
And they feel calm, and you can calm them when you learn their body language, right? Do they have certain
Exactly.
body language that, like a
Yeah.
dog has certain body language, if they're not
Yeah.
wagging their tail or their tail's down, what
Yeah.
they're
The
going through?
ears are pinned, or squinting their eyes, or they're snorting, or throwing their head up, or, bucking them. Sometimes they're bucking and playing for fun, but sometimes they're angry. Like I was working with Daphne, and the other day she was not feeling, good about the work I was asking her. She was really cranky. And so I was, letting the boss know. And it might be with mirrors. Sometimes they give hormonal treatments. It is spring, or it could be maybe she's sore in your back or whatever. So horses always tell you what's going on with them, and reading their body language is, makes you learn to listen to what's going on, and just, it's not all about you. You got to, be a partner with your animal.
Yeah, and for kids, it's such a huge responsibility. Like you
Oh
said,
yeah.
brushing them and cleaning them and feeding them, and you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot to it.
Yeah. This is not just a motorcycle he's stuffed back in the shed.
Yeah, well, I see that with barrel racing. That's one thing I've been fascinated when I watch when they're doing what they can do with these horses. It's just incredible.
Yeah. These cute little kids that are, going, barreling around those barrels like top speed is pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, and then you have work horses, and they're pulling plows, and there's so much that horses can do,
Oh
and
yeah,
there's
there's
different breeds for different purposes. I take it.
yeah, hundreds of breeds, hundreds of sports. It's quite a interesting thing. Humans have been, have a love affair with horses for, for as long as man's been around. So it's even now, when we don't need horses to do anything for us, they do a lot for us. So
That's amazing. As a matter of fact, my neighbor took us out. We were just driving through the country. He goes, I want to show you something. And we went to a polo field. There's one like not too far from us. And just seeing the horses play, I mean, running and doing this stuff, it's incredible.
yeah. Yeah, like those horses that like do show jumping. Sometimes like if they're turned out in their arena and there's jumps around, they'll just jump over for fun, or they'll jump out of the if they if their arena is not too big, they like it. I mean, they'll do. The race horses love to run, and all these the quarter horses that do the cow work. I mean, they're like, I'm gonna get that cow. They love their work. So having a job is just like humans. If we have a good purpose in life, we like to do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, let them get out and run and do this, and so what are the things do you have like family outings where families could come out and spend time on the ranch and all that kind of stuff?
So I mean, some of the families will come, especially like in the Mustang, the Wranglers. Like the parents will come with the kids, and they'll help them, and they'll help volunteer, and put the kids on the horses. So we do have moms and dads and kids with that Mustang, the Wrangler program, and some of the kids come and they get dropped off and just work with the volunteers and stuff. And then we have the high school Prescott High School Club comes twice a month, and they're a lot of fun to get them connected with horses, keep the horse industry going.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, just to educate people, I think what you experience, I have friends with horses, and I just love it when we go visit them and hang out a little bit, and it is such a calmness and such a peace there too.
Yeah.
And so, what do you find? Oh, tell us about this. Tell us about the what you're doing for your fundraiser,
Oh yeah,
the
so
golf
so
tournament that's coming up.
feeding these 9 horses at Bethany's Gate is a nonstop. These horses want to eat hay every day, so we have a couple really fun fundraisers. And this year we're going to have a golf tournament June 1st at Antelope Hills Golf Course right there here in Prescott, right now on the coming into Chino Valley, so right by the airport. It's a fun course. We're golfing on the south course, teeing off at 9 o'clock. Registration is at 7:30. Tough Sheds, our title sponsor, and Prescott Toyota Finley, they donated, or they're sponsoring a hole-in-one contest. So if you get on the par three, if you get a hole-in-one, someone's going to be driving home with a brand new either Tacoma or Tundra. And then we're going to have a fun long drive, a pro golfer coming and hit the long drive for you on a par five. And if you get the hole-in-two, you're going to Pebble Beach for 3 days of golfing. So lots of fun prizes, camaraderie. We're going to have some awesome auction items, lots of great hole sponsors like you, Dr. Brian, and others are sponsored holes, helping us raise money and fill up that hay barn. So that's coming up June 1st. And then in the fall, we have a Heroes Among Us Awards where we honor military first responders and veterans nonprofit groups. So that's a fun event coming up in the fall. And to find out about our events, if they go to Bethany's Gait and BETHANYGAIT.org, and it'll be on the podcast. So you can go there and go to the events tab to sign up for the golf tournament, or you can, reach out to me on my email, and contact information is on the website also.
And people can donate just like if they're not part of the golf thing, they can donate to help
Oh
out the
yes,
cause.
yeah. So I've been running around and making sure everybody knows about Bethany's Gate, and this is a great nonprofit to support. So there's a lot of wonderful nonprofits here in the Quad Cities, and my job is to make sure everybody knows about what we offer, in case they know anybody needs our services, or if they would like to keep these wonderful equines and keep their hay barn full, and their plenty of care money for them coming every month. We appreciate that.
And how do veterans find out about you if they do have PTSD? How do they connect
Yeah,
with
then go
you?
to the website also, and then every the first Tuesday of the month at the Parlor Donuts down in Prescott, there's a 7 a.m. Coffee and donuts gathering. Is a good place to meet. And if you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, you can see all the things we have going on. Last year, we did with one of our board members a really fun Jeep ride, so we do some extra activities. We all took our four-wheelers and climbed up a pretty cool mountain that Nate showed us, and everyone had a grand time. So trying to community is really important for all of us, and especially those that are having mental health challenges.
Yeah, so if anyone listening, if you know someone with PTSD, first responders are going through it, after the lockdowns and what a lot of the first responders went through. And of course our fire department, police, and military. I mean, gosh, we need to help these people. I mean, the suicide rate's unbelievable. I don't even know what it is per day now, but I think it was 21 a day that were just dying from suicide alone. And so
Yeah.
giving some hope and giving them, some treatment for this PTSD that seems so hopeless at times when you're in the barrel, basically.
Yeah, it's a challenging place. So horses are really helpful to get you out of there and help these guys level out and get some find the joy in their lives again.
Yeah, awesome. And do you do other programs like for counseling or educational stuff, like lectures or anything like that?
Yeah, if you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, they do some have some meetings where you can get to meet one on one with like William or Nate, and then they do talk about giving some techniques and ways to deal with what everyone's going through. So
Yeah, it's perfect because these guys already went through it too, and they know what it's
yeah,
like, and they can identify.
yeah, because then you can sign up for e-news and get e-news about what's coming up and see what programs are coming or reach out, or if they have ideas like, hey, what can we do this, and I'll throw it out to Christy and the board and William and say, hey, we just got a request. So, this is there's a ton of potential for this program to grow. It just requires, more volunteers, more financial support, and getting the word out and growing it. It's just like anything. So
Yeah, you have the heart for it. It's just getting it. It's just getting that steamroller
yeah.
going sometimes too. So hopefully the golf tournament will help out. So if anyone wants to help out, please, support these kind of causes. It's so important. These are things we don't think about every day. And Cheryl, I have to ask you, what's life's best medicine for you? Like, where do
Oh
you go when
yeah.
things are hard?
Oh yeah.
What gets you
Yeah.
excited?
Yeah, well, I got cancer in 2010. In 2011, I got stupid lymphedema, which I imagine you had a couple hours of of that in school when you went to med school. So I raised $84,000, or 20,000 of my own, and the rest to have a lymphedema surgeon take out liters out of each of my legs. So that was my PTSD, was getting that, and horses were really powerful for me. My one friend, because took me out of the show ring because I was busy raising money, and sold my show horse because it was a little struggle financially, and she had me take over as become her assistant trainer. So teaching people how to ride was really helped me heal immensely. And while I was dealing with this lymphedema, which I wear my compression gear and stay active and make sure I don't eat too bad, or try to eat well. Anyway, so dealing with that, and then when I found the San Diego program, helping heroes, find the joy in horses and watching them heal, that was really took my mind off of dealing with stupid lymphedema. And it's been my joy. I started a horse magazine back in the 80s, and so I've been horse crazy since I was 5, but God sent me to Tammy's, and now I'm helping Christy with making sure people are doing well, and watching the horses come around, and helping the heroes find the joy in a horse is very rewarding.
Oh, that's amazing. And that's such an important thing in life. So many of us, we get so caught up in our own needs and what's going on with us and our own troubles that we forget that helping other people, this thing called oxytocin in our brain that we
Yeah,
release that helps us feel
exactly.
good when we connect and we help others. And what you're doing is so amazing. That's why I wanted to have you on and let people know about what you're doing.
Yep, it's a God sent me down this path. Like, okay, because I'll go to heaven whenever He says, but right now He has me on this path. Like, okay, I'll do it. So no, I love doing it.
Yeah, and having faith and just listening sometimes, saying, okay, where am I supposed to be and do what are you supposed to do? And here you are.
Yeah,
Here we are.
exactly. Here we
So
are.
yeah, so I'm so glad to have you on. Thanks for joining me and everyone listening, be kind to yourself, be kind to others and find ways to help other people. You see hurting veterans or people in your family, friends, people in the neighborhood, just reach out and help them. Sometimes just having a conversation or just being there for them will help. And if you can get them around a horse, get them around a horse too. It sounds like that's some super good medicine also.
Yeah, super good. Exactly.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. If we're gonna have all the information in the show notes, and if you want to donate, help out the cause, come golf. Maybe I'll dust off my golf clubs and come out and
Yeah,
dig
want to come
holes.
come clean stalls? We got a spot for you.
All right. You want to clean stalls? Yeah, get the hay out, all that kind of fun stuff. So everyone, thanks for listening. Cheryl, thanks so much for joining me. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to this episode. We greatly appreciate your support. We would greatly appreciate a positive thumbs up on all of the platforms like iTunes and Spotify or wherever you're listening. And we just thank you for our Patreon supporters. We greatly appreciate your help in getting this message out. We think there's a lot of important information, and hopefully this helps you. Have a great day, and thank you for listening, and thank you for your support.